Hello guys, welcome to my part 3 episode of how I try to process cassava from home. This is day 3 of my cassava fermentation and I'm checking on it so I can begin the frying process. Unfortunately, my cassava didn't drain well. I'm trying to sieve it but it's not working out. Now I've placed it in my pan to fry. Let's see if we are going to be able to achieve gari. One important rule in gari making is to always make sure your gari is completely dried. I continued stirring and this was the result I got. Next, I brought out my lemon press and tried to see if that could help squeeze out the water. It just didn't help. It dawned on me that I had to look for another way. I decided to go to the commercial cassava mill since all my efforts proved abortive. I went into the farm and harvested more cassava so I don't waste my time and money on that little cassava I just fermented. Mosquitoes were beginning to bite. I had to cover up my feet. I was so adamant on getting this Ijebu Gari done. The reason is that getting clean and sand-free Ijebu Gari is quite unachievable. Most farmers make it for commercial purpose, so they don't really put in much effort into the hygiene. And remember, Lassa fever is still contacted through Gari drinking, so we all have to be careful. I sustained a cut because the knife was very sharp and I guess I wasn't careful enough. I had to rinse under running water. I went into the farm to get some awolowo leaves as this will serve as first aid and it will stop the bleeding. All I had to do was squeeze out the juice, apply on the wound, and use a plaster to dress it up. If this happened in a thick forest where I can't get access to plaster, I would be using a piece of my cloth to wrap the wound. Now I went back to peeling my cassava. The process of washing your cassava properly is very important in gari making. With the gari we buy from the market, I seriously do not know where all the sand and dirt comes from. Now I'm ready to go to the cassava mill with my fermented cassava and my fresh cassava tubers. This is the commercial cassava mill. I had to wait for my turn. This machine has a rolling blade which looks like your grater which you use in grating okra. It uses a grating system to blend your cassava. After blending, you have to go in and use your hands to pack out the cassava from the machine. Then you transfer to a clean sack. That sack will be tied and kept for a period of 3 to 5 days depending on how sour you want your gari. On the 3rd or 5th day, it is then pressed with this machine you see over there. Just outside, there are some women who fry gari for a living with some token. My previously fermented cassava has just been pressed and filtered with the machine. And this is what it looks like. Now I'm heading back home to fry my little quantity of Ijebu Gari. Mind you, I left my freshly grinded cassava at the mill and I'll be going back in 3 days time to pick it up for frying. Remember I sieved the cassava with the machine previously, but I'm just doing it once again. This is just my own preference. I transferred some cassava to this pan to fry. I'm frying Gari. It's becoming granular and I'm so happy with the outcome. It's also giving me that tangy taste. I feel so proud of myself and I'm so excited. I had to transfer the second batch of cassava to a bigger pan. The small pan on charcoal was almost taking the whole day. Rule number 2, you need a lot of fire to actually fry gari. You start off with low heat and then you increase as the gari gets roasted. This is the second and final batch of fried gari. This is the final outcome, guys. In the next 3 days, I went back to pick up my fermented dried gari from the cassava mill, and this is me frying it here. Would I be doing this again? A big fat no. Never. I would rather pay someone to do this frying process for me. Any other job that comes with gari making, I can do it. I can do the peeling, I can do the washing. But when it comes to frying, count me out. Thank you guys for watching. Love you.